Okay.
Look at this one.
Hey guys, this is Benny.
And this is Dhruv. And today we are going to review the trailer of the Nigerian movie called Cold Feet. This is a 2019 movie. If I read the IMDb of this movie, it says a surprise trip to an exotic resort in celebration of their 5th anniversary turns out to be a disaster for a man and his wife, Omoye, as they run into a mutual friend, Omoye's old love interest. Their meeting rekindles a flame of romance that eventually leaves them scaled, the effort of which reverberates to other aspects of their lives. And if I look at the director is Moses Inwang, and it stars Femi, Adebayo, Padita Agu, and Segun Arinze, and others. So let's check this out.
Do you know? Listen, do you have a wife? Do you know who my husband is? I know him.
Your husband is here. Surprise! We have a trip to plan tomorrow. It's a surprise trip.
What? A trip?
Yes, first flight. Omoye. And this is my wife. Huh? I told you, the love of my life.
Temi, Colonel Mayowa.
Retired at your service.
Nice to meet you. I did not walk into your life. I just walked into a resort with my husband.
Whoever he is not above the law.
You will get a shock of your
Your
life.
husband can't be above the law. Let's go.
Making love to each other. I want my Sorry. Are you feeling okay?
We'll just hang out with all these people and you've just abandoned me.
I missed you. Omoye, you make my body burn. But I take it you slept well.
I think I slept well.
Colonel, what did you say?
Shut up, Terry! Don't patronize me!
You think this is a game? I think I'm playing with you. You're fired.
What?
Everybody get back to work. What are we celebrating?
Love.
Intense.
Interesting. It's I almost have a feeling that maybe it's like, this is my brain now twisting and turning, but I'm thinking maybe it's like Othello's story, that insecurities get to them and maybe actually nothing happened. Maybe something did, but it would be interesting if actually nothing happened, you know? What was that movie with Rajpal Yadav? He had married Ritupurna Ghosh, this beautiful wife. Main Meri Patni Aur Wo. Basically, he made up this, because he was insecure as a person, he made up this story in his head that his wife, like these different things, connected in his brain, and he made up this entire story in his head, which was completely far from the truth, that nothing actually was happening. It's just his insecurity was playing with him. And I wonder if that is the case here. Maybe they're thinking that something is happening and nothing is happening. That would be more interesting than just actually something happening. Right?
I got a vibe that actually something did happen. I mean, from the IMDb, what you read, I felt it was just the guy who meets his crush when he goes over there with his wife. But here it seems like it's both ways. I mean, The partners have been exchanged in marriage. It seems like that. And that's what I felt, it's not just the guy's crush, but even the husband of the other woman. He also knew this guy's wife. That's what I felt. What do you think?
No, I don't
No?
think so. I think only no, I don't think the other
Pair knew
couple
each other.
pair knew each other, right? That's I was like, how do I describe those two? The other two knew each other. I don't think that I didn't get that feeling, but
Right.
it's interesting. Like, I mean, I'm sure these kind of things probably do happen to people, like where
Yeah.
you really had feelings for someone. Sometimes it's just that you have only felt some things for that one person and you have never felt that, but then you move on for certain reasons. You couldn't be with that person, so you move on and you take a practical decision. And then when that person shows up in your life again, how do you deal with it? Like, do you go by morals, or do you go by like, I have only one life, I should follow my heart? Like, who is to say what's right and wrong? And like, I think it's such a gray area, because it's easy to say, oh, it's so wrong, but unless you are in their shoes, you would not understand what that feels like.
True.
That maybe that was the only time they felt something like that. And my cat
Yeah.
is showing his butt, so
Ah.
so apt.
Yeah. Ah. I mean, you walk into a resort to celebrate your fifth anniversary, right? And the person you come across is the love of your life. That becomes a very, very awkward situation. And even if the wife would know that this person was your love, and even if the wife wouldn't know, then too it would be a very awkward situation, because that's a situation where you start feeling vibes. It happens. I mean, if you have been in love with a person, you can't help but feel that. There's this, that is this aura, there's this energy. Yeah, you can't help but have it. And even though you would feel that, okay, I want to be faithful with my wife, I am with my wife, I am with my wife, but still you would feel that energy, and that would make you feel guilty.
And also, yeah, that's one aspect of it, right? You feel it and you don't do anything. Then another aspect is like, you feel it and you pursue it. Like, in either case, like, I don't think anyone can judge that person. That is my perspective, because you don't know, like, what is the point of morality if you're extremely unhappy? That's also a question. It's a valid question, right? And this was kind of also shown in like Nishabd, I think where there was Amitabh Bachchan and Jia Khan, where he falls for his daughter's friend, and he's so old and she's so young and gorgeous, and then like he starts having feelings for her. I forget what were the specifics, but then his wife gets to know, and he of course stays with his wife, but she doesn't respect him after that. Like, they stay in an unhappy marriage. So
True.
Sometimes some such situation might make you realize that maybe there is no turning back from this, because now I have this opportunity. Now I will never be happy in my present circumstance, so why be in it, right? And that's a valid point. I mean, I know it's not the traditional outlook, not the way people in India look at it, or even in Nigeria is probably very traditional. They would frown upon it. But again, unless you are in that person's shoes, you wouldn't know what that is like. And the other thing is, I think the main couple, they were also business partners, and he fired her. So it's kind of like Nishabd in that sense, that maybe they stayed together even after something like this, whether or not something happened or not, but in the guy's mind that has happened. And so now they are in this relationship, which is, why are they in it, right? That is my point. Like, now it's a very bitter relationships and they're just sticking it out. What is the point of that? So yeah.
I used to often, I mean, as a kid, hearing about news, news about how a wife did something to a husband or a husband did something to a wife. And the simple question that would always pop up in my mind was, why don't they leave each other? I mean, why go to such extreme lengths? And you want to be in a relationship, you hate each other, maybe you can't stand each other, maybe, but you still are in that relationship. Why don't you just leave it? But the fact is that marriage is, it is no less than than a physical structure of a house. It's a mental structure. You have, you have made it. That's a whole, just like you have a house and you make it a home, a marriage is something as solid in your mind for almost everybody, I feel. So it's something, there are some lines you do not cross. If you cross those lines, then the whole structure falls down, and then it falls down on you and you're the one who's crushed. And so and if you're crushed and the person along with you, your partner, I mean, if you're crushed, evidently you're in a bad place, and evidently so the other person is also in a bad place. So marriage is something very tricky, doesn't work out so easy for most people. Everybody goes through a lot of struggle. Most people, you ask them, marriage is not easy,
and it's also like, it's also scary. If you have lived with someone for so long, you might not like love them, but you're so used to them, you have forgotten what life is without them, right? And the idea of breaking up is like, it's the fear of unknown. Like, what will my life, even the little things, right, that your partner takes care of, like, say something simple like washing dishes, how will I handle it? Even that task looks so huge. Like, life without that person is so difficult to imagine, right? So it in that sense also, it's not easy to break up, because that is the very definition of your life now. And the other aspect obviously is society. Society frowns upon you, judges you if you follow your heart, or if you are impulsive or whatever, even if it might be a practical decision. And in this case, that's not a factor, but it seems like, but obviously if people have kids, that makes it 1,000 times more difficult. There's so many factors. It's not a simple equation like, I'm unhappy, so I'll leave. There's so many different psychological, emotional factors to it that makes that decision so difficult. Or even when people do divorce, that's like so drawn out over years, where they're like, no, yes, no. You see that in Hollywood couples a lot of times. They broke up, they patched up, they broke up, they patched up. It's because of these kind of things, because it's not easy to do. Sometimes you realize you're not the right kind of people for each other, but still you got so used to each other that it's impossible for you to get out of it.
No matter what kind of relationship you are in, you start realizing that maybe this person knows me better than anybody else. Whether I like him or not, whether he likes me or not, maybe we are actually bad for each other, but this person knows me, and I know him. And if I let go of that, it's like letting go of an opportunity to know yourself from another person's perspective who knows you so well. So I think that is one of the reasons why people are not able to break off, even from toxic relationships. And when it comes to morality, I feel that, like morality is like laws. If you break laws, there are consequences to it. And the reason for having these laws is because, you know,
it's
yeah,
societal structure, basically.
yeah. And sometimes you do not know what is the right thing and the wrong thing. So you have laws, you know, it makes it simple. It makes it easy to find a path to guide you. You know, when you're completely gone and you're like, I don't know what is the thing to do. So you just follow the law, right? That's how morality works, I feel.
Guidelines.
That if you, so if you just follow morality, maybe you are on the safe side. You may not be the happiest, but then again, following your heart also does not guarantee any happiness. You never know, you know, and when you step away from morality, you're also stepping on other people's shoes, and those other people are the ones who really cared for you, right? And
Or
then
maybe not necessarily.
Not necessarily all right, but yes, by not going away from morality, you are displeasing society.
You are
All
against
right.
the popular opinion, basically.
Yes, and then you lose popular support. I mean, you're like, oh really? You know, it's like, you cheated your wife. You know, you cheated your husband, and then you become an unpopular person. You become alone. You know, again, alone is the big problem. So that's how morality works, I guess. It's not simply about right and wrong, because maybe there is actually no right and wrong. There is no right and
There
wrong.
usually isn't. Morality is just this, as you said, less risk-averse guidelines to a structured society. That's what morality is at the end of the day. It may or may not be practical at all, you know, but it is, it's for societal structure to keep things going. Like, no one intentionally, I feel, wants to hurt anyone. So
Yes.
so, you know, I think this is a good exploration of a gray area in people's lives. And I hope that this movie kind of, you know, raises questions. There are certain movies that do a good job at not taking sides, that only
Yes.
make you think of different perspectives, and then it's up to you, like what you think is right. But you also don't think of someone as a villain and someone as good and bad. That's to make someone look good and someone look bad is very easy, but to show gray characters and to have the audience be empathetic towards all of the characters is the most difficult part. So I hope that this movie does that it doesn't paint it as, it seems like it's doing that. I could be wrong, but it seems like that, and I like that a lot about this movie.
About Nigerian movies, what we always find is, you know, no matter, they always show some or the other problem, but they always show it in a funny, in a manner where everybody's, you know, laughing it off. You know, things are going wrong, but at the same time, something funny is going on. This movie is one of the few ones which I find to be serious and addresses the topic very clearly. And I think it seems to be quite a thought-provoking kind of a movie.
Yeah, and it also seemed like it was done on a very strict budget again. I think and I think Nigerians do a very good job with making impactful movies with less of a budget. You know, they don't have this multi-million-dollar budget, but they're still going out there making movies, finding topics, you know, entertaining you, making you question things. And I think that's very, very commendable.
Yes, definitely.
All right, guys, so if you liked our video, please subscribe to our channel and actually go ahead and give us an actual like. Also, hit that bell icon so that you're notified every time we upload a new video. We do that usually on Mondays. And also leave us a comment to let us know how you're doing or if there's anything else that we should be reviewing. Until next time, फिर मिलेंगे.
फिर मिलेंगे.